Ever since arriving in our present day from the 2020s, Jethro Bradley has been inspiring and challenging audiences with his space-age wisdom.
And you will be overjoyed to hear, I'm sure, that we've learned from your lessons and in the future there are no more wars. Only joking, there are loads of wars.
We are lucky to have gained exclusive access to Jethro as he gives talks and encounters the rich and famous. In this program, the man from the future meets figures from the world of popular music, starting with singer-songwriter Bob Dylan.
I'm saying that you're going to die and you're going to go off the earth. You're going to be dead. Man, it could be 20 years. It could be tomorrow. Anytime. So am I. I mean, it's going to be gone. The world's going to go on without us. All right, now you do your job in the face of that, and how seriously you take yourself, you decide for yourself.
Well, it's lovely to meet you too, Bob.
Are you going to see the concert tonight?
Yes, I am.
Are you going to hear it?
I hope so.
Okay, you hear and see it?
Yes.
And it's going to happen fast, and you're not going to get it all, and you might even hear the wrong words, And then afterwards, I won't be able to talk to you afterwards. I got nothing to say about these things I write. I could tell you, I'm not a folk singer and explain to you why, but you wouldn't really understand. All you could do, you could nod your head.
Can I start by congratulating you, because in the future you're still very popular. Everyone's listening to your music. However, when they impersonate your singing voice, they tend to go like that. So I wanted to start by asking you, how would you describe your singing style?
Let's say a tramp vomiting, man, into the sewer.
Yeah, I can hear that. Yeah, especially if it was a tramp who'd been sick a few times already, so he was kind of dry heaving. Can I ask you a follow-up question? I'm a bit nervous though, because I don't want to offend you.
You couldn't offend me, and I'm sure I couldn't offend you.
Oh, that's good. So neither of us can be offended. Because in 1993 you are completely outsold by the artist Mr. Blobby, who releases his seminal album titled Mr. Blobby. And he reveals an incredible singing voice, which is much more blobby compared with your Would you consider dropping the in favour of more of a blobby?
How can I answer that if you got the nerve to ask me? You got a lot of nerve asking me a question like that. Did you ask the Beatles that?
It's funny you should say that. John, earlier today I played you some songs from Mr. Blobby's acclaimed 1993 album, Mr. Blobby. And I could tell you were very impressed. I can also tell you that even in the 2020s, Mr. Blobby is every bit as popular as he was in the 90s. Do you think the Beatles could ever enjoy the same staying power as a Mr. Blobby?
How long are you going to last? Well, you can't say. You can be big-headed and say, yeah, we're going to last 10 years. But as soon as you've said that, you think, we're lucky if we last 3 months.
And turning to you now, Paul, you're quite famous for going ooh when you sing. Having heard Mr. Blobby, do you think you're going to continue singing From Me to You and going ooh, or do you think you might adapt and incorporate a bit more blobby?
Well, obviously we can't keep playing the same sort of music until we're about 40, because when we're old men playing From Me to You, nobody's going to want to know it's all about that sort of thing.
No, I think you're being a bit modest there, Paul, because I've heard your music, I've heard the Beatles, and some of it's quite good. I could easily, if you and John stick at it, I can easily see you producing something on a par with Mr. Blobby by the time you're 40.
Who knows, at 40 we may not know how to write songs anymore.
You'll be fine. Well, thank you very much. Thank you all very, very much.
I hope to have enough money to go into a business of my own by the time we do flop. And we don't know, it may be next week, it may be 2 or 3 years, but I think we'll be